The bright lights of the Galactic Council chamber dimmed as Zixtal, the ancient chairperson of the council, raised a slender blue hand. The murmurs from 300 different species quieted at once. Representatives from across the Milky Way sat in curved rows that stretched upward like a giant bowl, each seat adjusted to the unique biology of its occupant. "We face an unexpected situation," Zixtal said, voice echoing through the chamber. "A new spacefaring species has been discovered in the spiral arm of Sector 8742. They call themselves humans." Images appeared in the air above the central platform. Strange bipedal creatures with varied skin tones and only 2 arms. Many council members shifted uncomfortably. "They have achieved faster-than-light travel much sooner than our models predicted," Zixtal continued. "This emergency session will evaluate their threat level and determine appropriate action." 50 light-years away, completely unaware of this meeting, Captain John Carter stood on the bridge of the exploration vessel Horizon. It was humanity's first ship capable of traveling beyond their solar system. He looked out at the stars with a sense of pride and adventure. "System check complete, Captain," said Linda Morris, the ship's xenobiologist. Her eyes gleamed with excitement. "All readings normal. We're ready for the first jump." Carter nodded and straightened his uniform. "Then let's make history. Engage FTL drive." The Horizon disappeared in a flash of blue light, tearing through space faster than any human had traveled before. The crew cheered as stars streaked past the viewports. What they didn't know was that they were being watched. The Xilarian scout ship, Whisperwind, hung silently in the shadow of a distant moon. Its hull changed color to match the darkness around it. Inside, Scout Commander Grelix recorded everything about the human vessel. "Fascinating," Grelix said to his crew. "Such primitive design, yet functional. Send all data to the Council immediately." Back in the Council chamber, the new information from the Xilarian scout appeared for all representatives to see. The room filled with concerned whispers. "Their vessel is designed partly for war," noted Ambassador Krelox of the Draconid Empire. His scaled face showed no emotion, but his tail twitched nervously. "Look at those weapon mounts. Those are not the tools of peaceful explorers." "We should not jump to conclusions," countered Vrita, the plant-like Florian representative. Her flower-topped head swayed gently. "Many species arm their first vessels out of fear of the unknown." On the horizon, Linda Morris was the first to notice something strange on the sensors. "Captain, there's an object changing position to match our course." It's not natural." Carter stared at the readings. "First contact. Already?" He took a deep breath. "All crew to first contact stations. Remember your training. We represent all of humanity now." The Xilarian scout ship uncloaked itself, appearing as a shimmering silver craft that seemed to flow like liquid metal. It approached slowly, broadcasting peaceful intentions in universal mathematical sequences. The humans responded with similar patterns, showing they understood. In the council chamber, the live feed of this interaction caused an uproar. "They deciphered the greeting pattern in minutes," exclaimed a jellyfish-like Midorian. "That level of mathematical intuition is rare." Zixtal watched with growing concern. "The question before us is clear. What do we do about these humans? Their advancement is rapid, their technology built for both exploration and conflict, and their intelligence evident." Linda Morris became the first human to directly speak with an alien being when Commander Grelix established visual communication. Her hands trembled slightly, but her voice was steady. "We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship," she said. The Xilarian's reply was translated through the ship's computer. "Your journey has just begun, human. Your species has attracted the attention of the galaxy." Meanwhile, in the council chamber, Ambassador Krelox stood to address the gathering. "I propose immediate containment," the Draconid said firmly. "Limit them to their solar system until we fully understand what we're dealing with. Humans show concerning traits that remind me of predator species from the dark times." The debate that would determine humanity's future among the stars had begun. The council chamber grew louder as more representatives arrived. The news about humans spread quickly through the station. Some came out of curiosity, others out of fear. Ambassador Krelox stood tall, his reptilian scales gleaming under the chamber lights. "We must act now," he insisted. "The human homeworld shows clear signs of violent conflict. Their history is filled with warfare." Large screens displayed images of Earth's past wars. Soldiers marching, tanks rolling across battlefields, planes dropping bombs. Many council members gasped. "Look at how they fight their own kind," Krelox continued. "Imagine what they might do to us." Vrita, the Florian representative, raised her leafy appendage. "But also look at their art, their music, their efforts to make peace. No species is defined by only one trait." The debate paused as council guards entered. Escorting the human, Greg Mason walked into the chamber, eyes wide with wonder. As Earth's leading physicist, he had been invited to the Galactic Science Conference. He had no idea he was now part of a much larger discussion. "This is the human scientist who arrived yesterday," Zixtal explained to the council. "He may provide insight." Greg looked around nervously at the hundreds of alien faces staring at him. Some appeared curious, others hostile. "Hello," he said simply. "I'm honored to be here." Krelox approached Greg. "Human, tell us about your species' military capabilities." Greg frowned, confused by the question. "I'm a scientist, not a military expert. I came here to share our discoveries in particle physics." "Yet your research has military applications, does it not?" Krelox pressed. "Many technologies can be used for different purposes," Greg replied carefully. "We hope to use our discoveries to improve lives, not harm others." Meanwhile, on the horizon, Captain John Carter and his crew had been invited to dock at the Xelarian outpost. They walked through alien corridors, trying not to stare at the various species they passed. "This is incredible," Linda Morris whispered to Carter. "So many different forms of life, all working together." Commander Grillix led them to a communication room. "Your presence has caused quite a stir in the council," he explained. "They are currently debating your species status." "Debating our status?" Carter asked. "What does that mean?" "Whether you will be welcomed into the galactic community," Grillix said, "or contained within your own solar system." Back in the council chamber, the displays showed detailed analysis of human physiology. "Their endurance is remarkable," noted a blue-skinned Andromedan scientist. "They can continue functioning despite injuries that would incapacitate most species. They heal quickly too." "And their adaptability," added another council member. "They live in environments from frozen tundra to burning deserts. They can eat almost anything." Greg listened with growing concern. "We're just people," he said. "We have strengths and weaknesses like anyone else." Ambassador Krelox showed footage of human sports competitions. "They do this for entertainment," he said as images of football players tackling each other played. Many council members looked disturbed. "Not all our entertainment involves physical contact," Greg protested. "We also enjoy music, storytelling, peaceful activities." Zixtal raised a hand for silence. "We must make a decision based on facts, not fear. I call for a full review of human history, culture, and biology." As the council proceeded with their review, Commander Grillix showed Carter and his crew how the news was spreading through the galaxy. "Some species are already forming opinions about humans," Grillix explained. "The Draconids fear you. The Andromedans are curious. The Florians see potential for cooperation." Linda looked worried. "They know so little about us, yet they're deciding our future." "That is the way of the council," Grillix said. "They evaluate, debate, and decide. Your species has caught them by surprise. They do not like surprises." In the council chamber, Greg Mason stood alone, suddenly aware of the enormous responsibility on his shoulders. Without realizing it, he had become humanity's first representative to the stars, and every word he spoke could determine Earth's fate. We wish to learn and share knowledge, Greg told the council. We come seeking friendship, not conflict. But many council members remained unconvinced as they prepared to examine more evidence about these strange new creatures called humans. The council session entered its second day. More evidence about humans was presented hourly. Dr. Alice Winters, Earth's top expert on potential alien contact, arrived at the station after receiving an urgent message from Greg Mason. They're evaluating our entire species, Greg explained as they hurried through the station corridors. And I don't think it's going well. Alice nodded grimly. We prepared for first contact scenarios, but not a trial. When they entered the council chamber, a holographic display showed human medical procedures. Council members watched with a mix of horror and fascination. They cut open their own bodies to repair damage, one alien whispered. And then they continue living. Their pain tolerance exceeds that of combat species, noted another. Yet they lack natural armor or weapons. Zixtal noticed the new human arrival. Dr. Winters, we welcome your expertise. Please explain why humans advance technology so rapidly compared to other species. Alice stepped forward confidently. Necessity and curiosity drive our innovation. We solve problems as they arise and explore simply to learn. Ambassador Krelox interrupted. Show the timeline. A new display appeared, showing human technological advancement from stone tools to space travel. Merely 12,000 years from agriculture to faster-than-light travel, Krelox said. No other species has advanced so quickly. It suggests aggression and resource consumption beyond sustainable levels. We had to adapt quickly to survive. Alice countered. Our planet has changing conditions that required innovation. In another part of the station, the crew of the Horizon met Sam Wright, a military historian who had been working with an alien cultural exchange program. He was shocked to learn about the council's deliberations. They're using our history against us, Captain Carter told him, especially our wars. Sam frowned. War is part of every species' development. We've been moving toward greater cooperation over time. The council doesn't see it that way, Linda said. They see our conflicts as evidence of dangerous tendencies. Back in the chamber, the Florian representative presented evidence of human environmental practices. They have damaged their own world, she said sadly, displaying images of pollution and deforestation. Yet they have also begun restoration efforts. They learned from mistakes. Alice and Greg exchanged worried glances as the mood in the chamber darkened. What troubles us most, Zixtal said, is your capacity for violence combined with your remarkable endurance and adaptability. Your bodies can withstand conditions that would kill most species. You can survive losing blood, breaking bones, even removing organs. Those are medical advances to preserve life, Alice explained, not preparations for war. Sam Wright was called to the chamber next. He had planned to discuss cultural exchange, but instead faced questions about human warfare. Is it true, Krelox asked, that humans continued fighting in your world wars despite millions of casualties? Sam nodded reluctantly. Yes, but those events taught us the value of peace. Yet you continued developing more powerful weapons afterward, Krelox noted. The council reviewed footage of disaster responses, showing humans running into burning buildings, diving into rough waters, and entering collapsed structures to save others. They willingly risked death to help others, observed an Andromedan representative, even for members of different social groups. Or they simply do not properly fear death, countered Krelox. As the evidence continued to mount, Captain Carter and his crew watched the proceedings from a separate room. They felt the weight of responsibility growing heavier. Somehow they had become representatives of their entire species, and the judgment being formed would affect Earth for generations. I never imagined making first contact would be like this, Carter said quietly. I thought we'd exchange knowledge, not defend our right to exist among the stars. Linda placed a hand on his shoulder. We need to change their minds. Show them humans aren't just enduring and adaptable, but compassionate and creative too. In the council chamber, the evidence portion was concluding. The next phase would allow arguments from those who supported human integration into the galactic community. Tomorrow, Zixtal announced, we will hear from those who believe humans should be welcomed rather than contained. Alice and Greg left the chamber feeling both exhausted and determined. Humanity's future among the stars hung in the balance. The third day of the council session began with a different tone. The Andromedan delegation, led by the tall, silver-skinned Ambassador Nuriel, took the center of the chamber. We have reviewed the evidence, Nuriel said, voice melodic and calm, and we believe humans deserve a place among the stars. Murmurs spread through the chamber. The Andromedans were respected for their wisdom and fairness. Let us examine human creativity, Nuriel continued. The displays changed to show human art, architecture, and music. A symphony played through the chamber speakers. Several council members closed their eyes, swaying slightly to the music. Their ability to create beauty is remarkable, Nuriel said. They use art not just for communication, but for emotional expression. In another part of the station, Paul Rodriguez, a human diplomat who had been en route to a different meeting, joined the Horizon crew after hearing about the council's debate. This is unprecedented, Paul said. Usually, new species are evaluated over years, not days. We need to make a good impression quickly, Linda replied. The council seems split on whether we're a threat or an opportunity. Back in the chamber, Councillor Vrita presented evidence of human compassion. Images of disaster relief efforts, hospitals, and volunteer work. Humans help not only their own kind but other species too, she said. They rescue animals, preserve ecosystems, and work to repair the damage they cause to their planet. Ambassador Krelox looked unimpressed. These examples do not erase their history of violence. Their compassion is selective. Paul Rodriguez was called to speak next. Though unprepared, he straightened his jacket and entered the chamber with confidence. Esteemed council members, he began, I came here to discuss trade agreements, but instead I find myself defending my species' right to explore the stars. He looked around at the alien faces watching him. Yes, we have fought wars. Yes, we have made mistakes. But we learn from them. Our history is not just violence, but also progress toward peace and understanding. Some council members nodded in agreement. Others remained skeptical. Humans are young compared to many of your cultures, Paul continued. We're still growing, still learning. We ask not for unlimited trust, but for the chance to prove ourselves as valuable members of the galactic community. After the public session ended, private meetings began between various council factions. Some species saw humans as potential allies, others as dangerous competitors. The Midorians, a species that valued knowledge above all else, met with the human representatives to learn more. Your adaptability interests us, said the Midorian scientist, body glowing with soft blue light. Most species specialize for their environment. Humans adapt their environment instead, yet can also change themselves to fit new conditions. We've always been explorers, Greg explained, both of our world and beyond. In another meeting room, Ambassador Krelox gathered supporters. The humans represent an unknown factor, he told the group. They advance too quickly. They adapt too readily. If we welcome them now, they may overtake us within generations. A Draconid general nodded. Their military potential cannot be ignored. Despite their fragile appearance, they continue fighting through injuries that would stop our warriors. Meanwhile, Linda Morris discovered something important while reviewing the Council's data on humans. They'd been watching Earth for over a century, she told the others. They know about our wars, our technologies, our conflicts. But they've missed something fundamental about humans. What's that? Captain Carter asked. Our capacity for friendship, Linda said. Humans form deep bonds not just with our own kind, but with anything we recognize as a person. If they let us join the galactic community, we won't just be allies. We'll become friends with species across the stars. As the day ended, the council remained divided. Some saw humans as dangerous, others as valuable potential allies. The final decision would require more evidence and debate. Paul Rodriguez met with Alice, Greg, and the Horizon crew to plan their strategy. "Tomorrow will be crucial," he said. "We need to show them who humans really are, not just survivors and fighters, but dreamers and builders too." What they didn't know was that the Council had discovered something about humans that would change everything. A revelation that would come the following day. The fourth day of the Council session began with a startling announcement from Zixtal. "Our scientists have completed their detailed analysis of human biology," the chairperson said. "The results are concerning." The main display showed complex biological data. A lead Council scientist stepped forward, her four arms moving rapidly as she pointed to different sections. "Humans possess unprecedented adaptability at the cellular level," she explained. "They can survive radiation levels that would kill most species. Their bodies remember diseases and develop defenses. Most remarkably, they can adapt to almost any planetary environment within a few generations." Gasps echoed through the chamber. "No other known species has this level of biological flexibility," she continued. "Combined with their technological growth rate, this suggests humans could potentially colonize worlds considered uninhabitable by Council standards." Ambassador Krelox rose immediately. "This confirms our concerns. Their spread could be impossible to contain once started." In the observers section, Eric Johnson, a human military advisor who had arrived with Paul Rodriguez, listened with growing unease. Suddenly, a small projectile flew from the crowd, heading straight for him. With reflexes honed from years of training, Eric dodged sideways. The projectile hit the wall behind him, releasing a gas that quickly dissipated. Security forces rushed to the area, but the attacker had vanished. "Are you injured?" a guard asked Eric. "I'm fine," Eric replied, brushing himself off. "What was that?" "Toxin designed for your species," the guard said. "Most would be paralyzed from even breathing it." The incident was reported to the Council immediately. "The humans survived an assassination attempt," announced the security chief. "The toxin would have killed most species, yet he shows no effects." This unexpected demonstration of human durability caused another wave of concerned murmurs. Meanwhile, in a secure room, Linda Morris reviewed data about human medical research with several Council scientists. "This project on regenerative medicine," one alien scientist said, pointing to a file. "You're growing replacement organs." "Yes," Linda explained. "We can create new body parts when the originals are damaged." The scientists exchanged alarmed looks. "You understand this is unheard of among Council species?" another scientist asked. "Most consider the body sacred, unchangeable." Linda hadn't realized their research would seem so foreign to advanced aliens. Back in the chamber, military records were being examined. The Draconids presented footage of human soldiers continuing to fight despite severe injuries. "Even our warriors require medical evacuation after such damage," noted a Draconid general. "Humans continue their mission." "That's not unique to soldiers," Sam Wright explained. "It's part of human nature to continue despite pain when we believe our goal is important." This statement did little to calm the Council's concerns. Lisa Baker, a human psychologist who specialized in cross-cultural communication, had been quietly observing the proceedings. When asked to speak, she approached the center of the chamber. "I've noticed something important," she said. "Humans form social bonds differently than many of your species. We connect emotionally not just with our family groups or even our own kind, but with any being we recognize as a person." "Explain," requested Zixtal. "On Earth, humans form deep attachments to animals, particularly those that live in our homes. We grieve when they die. We celebrate when they thrive. This ability to form connections across species lines is fundamental to who we are." The Council seemed puzzled by this information. "Are you suggesting humans would form emotional attachments to Council species?" asked Neriel. "Without question," Lisa confirmed. "We're already beginning to. Your differences fascinate rather than repel us." This revelation caused intense discussion among council members. Some found it reassuring, others disturbing. In a private meeting after the day's session, Captain Carter and his crew gathered with the other humans. "They're afraid of us," Carter said, disbelief in his voice. "Some of the most advanced species in the galaxy are afraid of humans." "Fear can lead to poor decisions," Paul cautioned. "We need to address their concerns directly." "The assassination attempt changes things," Eric noted. "Someone doesn't want humans in the council at all." Greg nodded grimly. "Tomorrow will be critical. We need to convince them that our adaptability and resilience are assets to the galaxy, not threats." Outside the station, more ships arrived as news spread about the human debate. The entire galaxy was watching as the council prepared to make a decision that would change the course of human history forever. The fifth day began with alarming news. A Draconid patrol ship had encountered a human exploration vessel near the border of council space. What started as a routine identification check had escalated when the human ship refused to turn back. Ambassador Krelox displayed the incident footage to the council. "The humans ignored direct orders from a council security force," he said, voice rising. "This proves they cannot be trusted to respect our boundaries." Paul Rodriguez quickly requested permission to speak. "We need more information. Those explorers may not have known about the council or its rules." "Ignorance is not an excuse," Krelox replied. "We demand immediate sanctions against Earth." The chamber erupted in heated debate. Some representatives called for containment measures, while others urged caution. Meanwhile, in the station's engineering section, Susan Miller, a human engineer who had arrived with the latest diplomatic team, was invited to observe the station's power systems. "Your reactor design is fascinating," she told the chief engineer, a six-armed being with glowing skin. "But why is the efficiency so low?" "Low?" The alien seemed confused. "This is standard technology across the council." Susan studied the system displays. "You're losing energy in the conversion process. A simple modification to the containment field could improve output by 30%. The alien engineers exchanged confused looks. "This design has been standard for 3 centuries. Susan grabbed a tablet and quickly sketched a new configuration. "Try this approach." After reviewing her suggestion, the chief engineer's skin glowed brighter with excitement. "This could work. How did you see a solution our best minds missed for centuries?" Susan shrugged. "Sometimes fresh eyes help. Humans are good at looking at old problems in new ways." News of the human engineer's insight spread quickly through the station. In the council chamber, the Lumerians, a peaceful species known for their balanced approach, proposed a compromise. "We suggest a probationary period," said their representative, body glowing with soft light. "Allow humans limited expansion rights while they learn our ways." This proposal gained support from moderate council members. Even some who feared humans saw the value in controlled integration. As the formal session ended, an unexpected incident occurred in the station's maintenance area. A support beam collapsed, trapping several aliens under debris. Frank Stevens, a human maintenance worker who had been hired by the station weeks before the Horizon's arrival, was nearby. Without hesitation, Frank rushed to help. He lifted a metal beam that would normally require mechanical assistance, freeing a trapped alien worker. Security cameras recorded the entire event. When the footage was shown to key council members, they watched in stunned silence. "He lifted that without mechanical aid?" asked one representative. "The beam weighs more than 4 Draconids combined. Humans come from a high-gravity world," explained a council scientist. "What seems extraordinary to us is normal for them." In an emergency meeting, human representatives tried to address the growing concerns. "We understand why our physical capabilities might seem alarming," Alice said to a group of influential council members. "But strength doesn't determine character. Our history shows we value peace and cooperation, despite our capacity for conflict." Ambassador Krelox remained unconvinced. "Your words speak of peace, but your biology is built for survival at any cost. The Council must consider the long-term implications of welcoming such a species. As night fell on the station, Paul Rodriguez met privately with Nuriel, the Andromedan ambassador. "How bad is it?" Paul asked bluntly. Nuriel's silver skin rippled with concern. "Many fear your kind. The border incident strengthened Krelox's position. The vote tomorrow may go against humans. What can we do?" "Show them something they don't expect," Nuriel suggested. "Most species here believe strength must be used for dominance. Show them humans use it differently." Meanwhile, Captain Carter received a troubling message from Earth. More human ships had launched, unaware of the delicate negotiations taking place. They would arrive within days. "We're running out of time," he told his crew. "If those ships arrive before the Council makes a decision, it could confirm their fears about human expansion." Linda looked thoughtful. "Then we need to change their minds tomorrow. Give them a reason to welcome us instead of fear us." As the station's lights dimmed for the night cycle, the human representatives prepared for what would likely be their final chance to secure humanity's place among the stars. The final day of debate arrived. The council chamber was packed with representatives from every corner of the galaxy. Today they would vote on humanity's future. Ambassador Karen White, who had just arrived from Earth with new instructions, joined the human delegation. She carried data crystals containing evidence of humanity's peaceful initiatives and scientific contributions. "We need to present this before the vote," she told Paul and the others. "It shows our commitment to cooperation." As they prepared their final appeal, Ambassador Krelox was gathering his supporters. "The evidence is clear," he told them. "Humans advance too quickly, adapt too readily, and possess physical capabilities that make them dangerous. We must restrict their expansion." The chamber quieted as Zixtal called the session to order. "Before we vote, Ambassador White of Earth has requested to present new information." Karen stepped forward, her posture straight but non-threatening. "Esteemed council members," she began, "I bring evidence of humanity's ongoing efforts toward peace and scientific advancement. The displays showed Earth's environmental restoration projects, international cooperation initiatives, and scientific breakthroughs in medicine and sustainable energy. We recognize our past mistakes," Karen continued, "but we are committed to doing better. We don't seek to dominate, only to join you as partners in exploring our shared galaxy." Her words seemed to sway some council members, but others remained skeptical. Nuriel of the Andromedans spoke next. "We believe humans would be valuable allies. Their creativity and adaptability could help solve problems that have challenged us for centuries." The debate intensified. Species from across the galaxy argued passionately about whether humans should be welcomed or contained. "Their physical capabilities are concerning," said a representative from a low-gravity world. "They could colonize planets we cannot even visit." "Their minds are what truly set them apart," countered another. "They find solutions where others see none." The chamber grew louder as opinions clashed. Some voices grew angry, others pleading. In the confusion, a technician accidentally activated a restricted file. The main display suddenly showed footage of human military training exercises. Elite soldiers moved through obstacle courses, scaled walls, and demonstrated combat techniques. The chamber fell silent as they watched humans performing feats that would be impossible for many council species. The footage had been meant for military assessment, not public viewing. "This is what they train their warriors to do," Krelox said into the silence. "Imagine facing them in conflict." Karen tried to explain. "These are specialized training programs, not representative of average humans." But the damage was done. Fear spread through the chamber as more military footage played before the technician could shut it down. During a break in the proceedings, the human delegation gathered to assess the situation. "That military footage hurt us badly," Paul said grimly. "I can see the fear in their eyes." "We need to change the narrative," Linda suggested. "Show them how our strength and resilience can benefit the galaxy, not threaten it." When the session resumed, Zixtal announced, "We will now proceed to the final vote. Each member world will cast their decision. integration or containment for the human species. The voting began. One by one, representatives indicated their choice. The Andromedans voted for integration, the Draconids for containment. The Florians split their vote. The Midorians chose integration after long consideration. As the voting continued, a pattern emerged. A narrow majority was forming in favor of placing severe restrictions on human expansion. Captain Carter watched from the observer section, his heart heavy. "They're going to contain us to our solar system," he whispered to Linda. "All our dreams of exploring the stars." The final votes were being tallied when suddenly emergency alarms blared throughout the station. The main lights flickered and turned red. Zixtol received an urgent message from security. The chairperson's normally calm face showed shock. "The vote must be suspended," Zixtol announced. "We had a level 1 emergency. Void entities have been detected approaching the station." Fear swept through the chamber. Even Ambassador Krelox looked terrified. "What are void entities?" Greg asked a nearby alien. "The most dangerous predators in the galaxy," the alien replied, voice trembling. "No defense has ever stopped them. We must evacuate immediately." As panic began to spread, the humans exchanged confused glances. Whatever these void entities were, they had just changed everything. Chaos erupted in the council chamber. Representatives rushed toward exit doors. Security forces struggled to maintain order. Everyone remained calm. Zixtal's voice boomed over the noise. "Proceed to evacuation ships in an orderly manner." But panic had already taken hold. Several smaller alien species were being pushed aside in the rush. Jack Davis, a human security officer who had been observing the proceedings, saw the danger immediately. He climbed onto a raised platform and whistled loudly. The sharp sound cut through the noise. "Stop," he shouted. "You're going to hurt each other. Form lines and move slowly." To the surprise of many, the crowd began to listen. Jack organized evacuation lines, ensuring smaller species weren't trampled. The station shook as something massive struck the outer shields. Emergency lights flashed brighter. "Void entities approaching Section 7. Announced the station's eye. Shields at 60%. Captain Carter found Jack in the crowd. "What can we do to help?" "The evacuation is too slow," Jack replied. "Those things will breach the hull before everyone gets out." Carter nodded grimly. "Then we need to buy time." The human delegation gathered quickly. None of them fully understood what void entities were, but they recognized an emergency when they saw one. "We need to strengthen the shields," Susan Miller suggested. "I saw their power configuration earlier." "I can help coordinate the evacuation," Jack added. While council species rushed to escape, the humans moved in the opposite direction, toward the danger. In the engineering section, Susan worked with alien technicians to reroute power to the shields. Her earlier insights into the station's systems proved invaluable. "Divert power from non-essential sections," she directed. "Focus shield strength where the entities are attacking." Meanwhile, Jack organized defense teams at critical junctions. When a hull breach occurred in a lower section, Frank Stevens helped seal damaged doors that would have required mechanical assistance for the alien crew. Council security cameras captured everything. Representatives watching from evacuation ships saw humans running toward danger rather than away from it. A particularly violent impact rocked the station. A support beam collapsed, nearly crushing Ambassador Krelox. Eric Johnson reacted instantly, shoving the Draconid leader out of harm's way and barely escaping himself. Krelox stared at the human in shock. "You saved me. Why?" "It's what humans do," Eric replied simply. The most dramatic moment came when a void entity, a shifting mass of darkness that seemed to absorb light, breached the station near the main evacuation route. Hundreds of council members were trapped, with the creature between them and the escape pods. Jack Davis and several other humans formed a line between the entity and the aliens. "Get them to the ships," Jack shouted to his team. "We'll hold it back." The humans used emergency equipment to create barriers, buying precious time for the evacuation to continue. From his evacuation ship, Zixtal watched the humans with astonishment. They run toward danger when all others flee, the chairperson murmured. By the time the attack ended, all council members had been safely evacuated. The humans were the last to leave the damaged station, helping injured aliens board the final ships. 3 days later, an emergency council session convened on the nearest safe world. The debate about humans had transformed completely. "We have witnessed something unprecedented," Zixtal announced. When faced with deadly danger, humans protected species they had only just met, risking their lives without hesitation. Even Ambassador Krelox's position had changed. Their strength and resilience, which we feared, saved many lives, including my own. The final vote was nearly unanimous. Humans would be granted provisional membership in the galactic community, with gradual expansion rights and technology exchanges. But in a private chamber after the vote, Zixtal recorded a special addendum to the official record. It classified humans as a guardian species, to be called upon when the galaxy faced its greatest threats. "The debate on humans has concluded," Zixtal dictated. "We have decided to embrace them as allies, not out of trust, but out of fear. Fear of what they might become without our guidance, and fear of facing future dangers without them at our side." As human representatives celebrated their new status, they remained unaware of their additional classification. To them, they had simply done what came naturally, helping others in need, regardless of species. And across the galaxy, news spread of the strange bipedal creatures who ran toward danger instead of away from it.